much of an advantage. Yeah, y'all know all the X's and O's, man. I'm just sitting at home watching. I don't like to get into that because.
Hey, everyone, guest is back. It's Kamish back here with another draft preview, and I'm excited to introduce the Tier 2 team, ScooterRay96. A guy that was referred, I think, through the channels of Justin Bishop. So, again, I don't know if we could call you guys the Carolina crew. Like, are you guys all from Carolina? I'd be interested to know. I did obviously put that you are American and from the States. And, I think for you, obviously, the activity level in Tier 3 is going to get you to advance so far with the owners that I see in that league so far. Maybe half the teams half the league's active. In this league, everyone is active. So it does get a lot better. Some people might take a long time to answer trades. So there are some people who do take some time. So just so you're aware, but it is getting a lot fewer of those owners in this tier. And obviously, if you got good knowledge, you'll be able to advance to the top tier. And that's where it becomes a money league. And then, obviously, that's where the fun begins. I'm going to share my screen now and get into your preview. And we'll get started. So you have as your keepers right now, Jordan Love, obviously a guy that's looking like he's ascending, same career path as Aaron Rodgers, took the time out, learned, held the clipboard for a while, and now it looks like he might be ascending. We'll see. CMAC, Fantasy Player of the Year last year. Obviously, if you had him, you did well. Brandon Ayuk, obviously having some disputes right now over the contract in San Francisco, wants to get paid the big money. Obviously, with Debo there, it's hard to pay two guys big money, so we'll see what happens. Devontae Smith, here's the guy that clearly has taken the back seat to A.J. Brown in Philly, but a great compliment and, a great guy that could do well on those one-on-one coverages. Jackson Smith and Jibba, second year of his development. The only thing that's going to stunt his points, obviously, is Tyler Lockett still getting in the way in Seattle, and Lockett will still get in the way in Seattle. He's an underrated receiver, a guy that produces. But I think Smith and Jibba will start to do well, and he will obviously, I think, progress. Patrick Queen for the Steelers, going from divisional rival Ravens to the Steelers, so you could consider him a bit of a trader. Obviously, he feels at home in Pittsburgh with Tomlin, so we'll see what happens there. Other potential keepers I have, obviously the other quarterbacks, Stafford and Goff, the veterans, obviously two guys that were traded for one another as well, so to speak. Gus Edwards, Demario Davis, and Antonio Winfield I have as potential IDP keepers. So, Gus Edwards is a running back in LA, but a lot of risk there. Demario Davis can get a fair amount of tackles, and Winfield considered one of the best DBs in football. And then looking at your draft picks, well, this is where the issue begins. So I thank you for taking this team. I know you're trying to improve, get better. You're getting close to having 10 picks in the first 10. I always feel for you to compete, you have to at least have 10 in the first 10. You got no first, no third, no sixth. So that's going to be tough. You have round sevens, 8 picks in the first 10 right now. And your first pick doesn't come until 6th in the second round, which will be pick 22. So tough to be picking that. And as your first pick to be building a roster. Rounds 11 to 20, you got 12 picks, 2 in round 16, 2 in round 20, and you got the standard 9 in the last 9 rounds. In round 21 to 29, my advice, first off, let's say you're an active owner, and I'm excited to have you in tier 2, and the good owners I want to see progress. I honestly think you should take this year and crush it the next. Compete this year, but don't, if there's not an option for you to buy and win this year, because honestly, the best way to make your way up the tiers is to go all in and buy, sell the 5 and 10. Sometimes it blows up in your face because the following year, if you don't actually make it up the tier, trust me, it's a very challenging year the next year to stay alive. But a lot of teams have done that to make their way up. And, I think obviously you could be somebody that would be smart enough to know that as well, or at least do a strategic buy. But I think take this year and crush it the next. So really happy to have you, ScooterRay96. I don't know what your first name is. Maybe you told me at one time, I don't know, but I could put it on the bottom of the videos. I always like to know all my owners, and obviously in tier 1, we've had owners for over 10 years. So know those guys by first name all over the globe. Anyways, happy to have you and good luck this season.